Alrighty guys, here's my WrestleMania 41 Night 1 review. Welcome to Flips.Corner. I do sports, WWE content, so if you like that kind of stuff, hit that like up, subscribe button. Anyway, we're going to get right into the review. Started the show off strong. Jelly Roll did the national anthem. A lot of guests were there tonight. WWE bought AAA, so there was a lot of luchadors. George Kittle was there. There was a couple other people that I can't remember. Started the show off pretty strong now. First match of the night was Jey versus Gunther. I had a feeling that WWE wanted to start the show off strong. You know, we have the Jey Uso entrance. That freaking entrance was long as hell. That was like 10 or 15 minutes, which I was fine with. Gunther had his normal entrance. It was a very basic Jey versus Gunther match. We've seen this match 3 different times. We've seen it play out 3 different times. We've seen a DQ, I think. Something else in a submission. I'm not going to say that the Jey vs. Gunther match was bad. It was definitely slower paced. There was less super kicks from Jey, which I was happy about. And honestly, we all knew Jey was going to win, so I don't understand why a lot of people are mad. Jey Uso is like #1 in merchandise sales. He has the babyface heat. He has the younger audience. Of course he's going to win. It just all makes sense. You know, he hadn't had a singles run in a while. Jey Uso winning made sense. Next matchup was the New Day versus the War Raiders. I'm not even going to get fully into this match, to be honest with you. I was very disappointed. It's not even the tag team's fault. It's just they had no heat with each other. You know, when there's no story, especially in tag team matches, the crowd didn't give a shit. They were quiet, which made me not give a shit. And in total, the match was just very dull to me. And the New Day, the way they won, it just seemed like lazy booking to me. It honestly just seemed like they needed a heel way to get the hell out of there quick. And they won, but nobody even cares. Unlike the tag team match, the next match, Naomi versus Jade, this match actually had some heat. This match I actually thought, you know, maybe we were going to get a little bit more back into the WrestleMania feel. We were going to get the crowd back into it, because the crowd up to this point was very quiet, and it was very concerning to me very early on in the WrestleMania card. When a crowd is quiet like that, it typically means that they don't really care what's going on during the product. I don't know if it was just me. You know, Jade winning, I have not been able to get behind her as far as her character and what she's doing. I'm not saying she's a bad wrestler. She's gotten way better since she's left AEW. But it's getting stale to me. You know, the Storm thing. Naomi even came out with a new freaking entrance. But Jade Cargill, she wins obviously. But I can't get behind her whole character thing that she's doing. And overall, the match was okay. It got the crowd somewhat back into it. Next match up was LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. This match was a fucking banger, dude. I thought it was going to be good. It ended up being great. These two put on a goddamn show that finally got the crowd back into WrestleMania. This was a WrestleMania match. Jacob Fatu wins the United States Championship. I have nothing wrong with that. I love it. I think it's going to be great. I think a heel Jacob Fatu is going to be awesome for SmackDown. Brings a little bit more excitement to SmackDown. Awesome decision. Rey Fenix versus El Grande Americano. It was a great luchador match, man. Solid match. Obviously, Rey Mysterio had an injury earlier today, so they ended up having to do that. I don't know if that was planned. I don't know if that was scripted. I don't know if Rey Mysterio actually got hurt or not. But the match ended up being solid. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte, dude. I don't know what it was, but the match was sloppy. It was the first match that I didn't know who was going to win. It just seemed like they didn't really want to be there. I mean, the timing was kind of off. It looked like freaking Tiffany Stratton actually got beat the hell up. I personally didn't even want this match to happen. I didn't even want Tiffany Stratton fighting Charlotte to begin with. I think the whole thing with Charlotte winning the Royal Rumble was bullshit. And I think, honestly, Tiffany Stratton should have had a way better opponent. And I don't think this is Charlotte putting over Tiffany Stratton. I think Charlotte is still very selfish. And the match was okay. After that, we had a Hall of Fame ceremony. Triple H coming out had a bigger pop than most of these matches tonight. And he ain't even fucking wrestling. Like, that is a problem to me. And we finally get to the WrestleMania 41 Night 1 main event. This pay-per-view so far has dragged to the main event. And unfortunately, the energy, it's going to have to get brought up. We get the Seth Rollins obnoxious, entrance. We get the CM Punk entrance, huge freaking pop. Roman Reigns is in his 10th WrestleMania. He gets the big pop. And like a guardian angel, this triple threat match saved night one from being a very below mid-card show. And I'm not kidding. This main event absolutely carried the 4 hours that we had to sit through and wait to get to it. Paul Heyman going to save Punk. Paul Heyman going to save Roman. Paul Heyman aligning himself with Seth Rollins. The shit was cinema, dude. Watching that all live, absolutely incredible, dude. And Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins walk out of WrestleMania victorious. I'm extremely interested in this. And I'm so excited to see what happens on Raw. But like I said, like a guardian angel, this triple threat match, fucking banger. Punk, Roman, and Rollins always deliver. That's something about all three of these guys. Always deliver. Awesome. One of the best triple threat matches I think I've ever seen in my fucking life. One of the best triple threat matches ever fucking produced in this company. Amazing. Without the main event, right, for night one of WrestleMania 41, this show would have been doomed. Other than LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, I can't tell you a match that was actually wrestled and had the story to back it up. Overall, WrestleMania 41, I think it was an okay show. It was okay. The main event carried majority of it. We had to wait 4 hours for that main event. It was worth it, but a lot of the other like filler matches and shit, they didn't meet the cut. To me, they didn't meet the cut. Jacob Fatu and LA Knight, great match. I think that met the cut. Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton, that match was sloppy as hell. I think Rey Fenix and El Grande Americano, they should have went longer. Jey Uso versus Gunther was a basic match we've already seen. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of this shit, we had the same problem last year with night one at WrestleMania 40. I'm curious to see what everybody else thinks. Put your opinions down in the comments. They're always open. But I have a feeling that this night one is gonna kind of get crapped on a little bit, just because of a lot of people not liking Gunther versus Jey. And overall, the matches, the crowd was quiet. The crowd was very quiet for most of WrestleMania. And it's WrestleMania, right? Like, you want the crowd to be into it. And for me, when I'm a viewer and the crowd is not fucking excited, it doesn't make me want to be invested in the product. The only point that this crowd felt like a WrestleMania crowd was during that triple threat. When the triple threat was going on and all that stuff with Paul Heyman was happening, that crowd was absolutely incredible. That was the only match tonight that made the crowd excited. Like I said, stay prepared for night two. Of course, I'm going to put a review out on that. I'm going to be doing my short videos and all that shit. So look forward to that. Like I said, put your opinions down in the comments. I appreciate you guys. See you guys tomorrow night.